Every weekend, millions of Americans walk into thrift stores looking for a bargain. A $5 jacket, a $10 piece of furniture, a forgotten item sitting on a shelf. Most people see things someone else no longer wants. But a small group of entrepreneurs see something completely different. They see opportunity, because behind those crowded shelves is a business model most people never notice. The real money is not just selling old products, it is finding value where everyone else sees leftovers. And some entrepreneurs have turned this simple idea into six-figure businesses, online brands, and even million-dollar companies. Now, let's reveal the secret. When people hear the words thrift store, they usually imagine old clothes, cheap prices, small local shops. But the reality is much bigger. The secondhand economy in America has become a massive industry. The U.S. resale market is now worth tens of billions of dollars, and it has grown rapidly in recent years as consumers look for lower prices, unique products, and more sustainable choices. Why? Because the business model solves one of retail's biggest problems: inventory risk. A traditional clothing company has to make a difficult bet. They spend money designing products, they pay factories, they ship inventory, and they hope customers want what they created. But if trends change, unsold products become a problem. They require discounts, storage, and sometimes huge losses. But thrift businesses operate differently. The products already exist. Someone already bought them. Someone already paid the original cost. The opportunity comes from giving those products a second life and finding the buyer who truly values them. The secret is not cheap products. It is knowledge. Many people think successful thrift entrepreneurs simply find cheap items. But cheap is not the real advantage. Knowledge is. A beginner walks into a thrift store and sees a used jacket, an old handbag, a random piece of furniture. An experienced reseller sees a rare brand, a vintage trend, a collector market, a product with demand somewhere else. The item itself is not always special. The information is. This is exactly how investors think. A beginner investor asks, "How cheap is this?" A great investor asks, "Does the market understand the real value?" Thrift entrepreneurs do the same thing. They find products that are undervalued today, but valuable to the right buyer tomorrow. From thrift store finds to million-dollar brands. One of the most famous examples is Sophia Amoruso. Before she founded Nasty Gal, a fashion company that became internationally recognized, she started by selling vintage clothing online. She searched for unique pieces, found products that others ignored, photographed them, listed them online, and slowly built an audience. Her success was not simply about buying used clothing. It was about understanding customers, creating a brand, and recognizing demand before others did. Her story shows a powerful business lesson. You do not always need to create something completely new. Sometimes you need to recognize hidden value before everyone else does. Another example is Rob Stevenson, founder of Flea Market Flipper. His business was built around the same fundamental idea: find overlooked items, improve them, sell them to someone who values them more. Instead of chasing complicated startups, he focused on a simple question: what are people getting rid of that someone else would happily buy? A piece of furniture sitting in a garage might be worthless to one person, but valuable to another. The opportunity comes from the gap between those two perspectives. For experienced resellers, success is not about finding random bargains. It is about building a repeatable system, knowing where to source, knowing what buyers want, knowing where to sell. That is when a side hustle becomes a real business. Let's go over the million-dollar math behind reselling. The wealth is not created by one lucky discovery. It comes from volume and systems. For example, imagine an experienced reseller who consistently finds 25 profitable items every week. Average profit, $50 per item. That creates $1,250 per week, around $65,000 per year. But the bigger opportunity comes from scaling. More sourcing locations, better knowledge, online marketplaces, employees helping with operations. Eventually, the entrepreneur is no longer just flipping items. They are running an inventory business. And this is the same pattern behind many successful companies. Small opportunities become large systems. Technology created a new type of entrepreneur. Years ago, thrift sellers were limited by geography. A rare item found in a small town might only be valuable to local shoppers. The internet changed everything. Platforms like eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Facebook Marketplace connected local discoveries with global buyers. A vintage handbag, found in a small American town, can now reach collectors across the country. A rare collectible, sitting unnoticed on a shelf, can find the exact person willing to pay for it. Technology created a powerful advantage. It separated where something is found from where something is valuable. And that difference creates opportunity. For years, many people viewed thrift stores as small charity shops. But investors eventually recognized the business potential. Savers Value Village, one of North America's largest for-profit thrift retailers, became publicly traded in 2023. The company proved that second-hand retail could grow into a large-scale business. The lesson is simple. A product does not have to be new to create wealth. It only needs someone who understands its value. The biggest lesson from thrift stores has nothing to do with used clothing. It is about how wealthy people think. Most people ask, how much is this worth? Entrepreneurs ask, who values this more than I do? That question creates opportunities. A forgotten product, an ignored business, an undervalued asset. The opportunity is often hiding in plain sight. Because millionaires are not always created by inventing something completely new. Sometimes they are created by seeing ordinary things differently. Thrift stores look ordinary, but behind those shelves is a powerful wealth creation system. A system built on supply, knowledge, and recognizing hidden value. Most people see used items. Entrepreneurs see opportunities. And that is why thrift stores have quietly created millionaires. Thanks for watching. At John Ma Wealth, we explore timeless ideas about money, investing, and building lasting wealth. If you found this video valuable, a like helps more people discover this video. And if you're serious about building lasting wealth, subscribe. Until next time, keep learning, keep investing, and keep building.